About 2 years ago, I went to something that we hold annually in Maine around the third weekend of May called the 10-mile yard sale. And actually, it's turned into a 30-plus-mile yard sale. It might even be up to 40 miles now. And as I was going through one of the yard sale displays in front of an old home, I came across a pile of stuff, and this book was in there. And when I opened it up, I was so thrilled, and they only wanted $3 for it. And it is an antique farmer's ledger from, well, the oldest entry in here is 1804, I believe. And if you follow me, you know that I love antique books and I love replicating them for all of you because they need to be shared, not just stored on somebody's bookshelf. So I do try to digitize them and make them junk journal and collage friendly. But this one was so fragile that I didn't dare. You have to turn it over and really press it flat and put it in your scanner. And I didn't want to do that. But now at this point, the cover has is only held on by one little itty bitty string now, and the cover has fallen off. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and digitize this. I didn't make very many pages because I didn't want to spend too much time pressing it flat like that, but there's enough in the digital kit that I made for you to have plenty of cool things to work with. This particular book back then, of course, paper and books like this were not easy to come by. And so what they would do is use the book as they however they wanted to, but then they would go back to the beginning and use the pages again. So after they got to the end of this book, somebody went through and started using the pages as a scrapbook. So they've glued little newspaper articles and poems and stories and things on top of the original farmer's ledger. Now, luckily for me, there's only a few pages that are the scrapbook. Most of it is the ledger, which is what I think we're going to be most interested in. So it's got the old script, of course, with the old ink, and this is really beautiful because it's brown ink instead of black, which makes this even more aesthetically beautiful, I think. It also had some, oh, I opened right up to it. It also had some dried flowers in here, and I kept them in there, and that, look at that look. I mean, this that just every time I flipped a page, I became more and more in love with this book. And you can even see some eco dyeing where the flowers were in here for so long that they started to imprint onto the pages. Now at the back, they did something really beautiful. And there's another one of the flowers and an old leaf. So delicate. Oh, I'm going to not touch that. But what they did was they cut the pages down and made an alphabet here for like an address book. So they made tabs here. So I really love this look, and this is in the kit for you. So there are also a few blank pages, and I put a blank page in the kit for you as well, so that you can print as many as you like and enjoy it however you would like to enjoy it. And the entries in here, I could just read these all day. I could sit and read every single one. In the beginning it shows what people were paid for a day's work or 4 days work. One guy was paid $3.23 for 4 days of work. And you've got the old ink blots, and there are no words. I am just so enamored of this book. So I'm going to delicately close this now and show you the kit and show you a few ideas of what you can do with these papers. So I made two types for you. I made ones that are 5.5 by 8.5. so that, and if you print them double-sided, well, that one I didn't print double-sided. If you print them double-sided, then they're ready to just fold and put in a junk journal. They're just ready to go. And then I did a stack that print out on 8.5 by 11 in their full size. I forgot to print borderless on this one, but if you print it borderless, you'll have an 8.5 by 11 sheet. Or, of course, use your printer settings to print them at any size that you want. So you get the two styles. There aren't it's not a huge kit, again, because I just didn't want to destroy my book, but there's certainly enough in here to have lots of fun with. So let me flip through the larger ones to give you an idea. All of these are also in the smaller version. So you get a blank page. Here is one of the pages. On this one, I thought this would be fun for collage because I really loved the ones and the zeros here. That's before they used ones and zeros for computers. much earlier. And then this is a list of different items from their farm. A bushel of corn was 75 cents. It's mostly corn, but there's other things in here. So this is part of the ledger, and it does say 1808 at the top. Here's one that I liked because it had a nice ink blot, couple of ink blots, and it has some blank space here. So if you wanted to journal or put a photograph, what would be really nice is to stick an envelope on here and have that be a little pocket for your journal. Here's one with the vintage flowers. I definitely wanted to include some of those for you. The date on this is 1808. Here's another very busy page. Again, if you collage on top of this and have this be your background, beautiful. And this one is, I don't know if that's a 7 or a 4. It's either 1804 or 1807. I think maybe 1807 because it's after the 1806 page. Duh, Cindy. Another blonde moment. Okay, and here's just another one because I liked the ink blotches on there. And then I did give you one of the scrapbook pages because these are beautiful for collaging. And then you also get these two pages in full size. So I did give you this one with the flower and the letters down the side. So you'll get these two as well. So those are the pages that are in the kit. I wanted to show you a couple of ideas. So this page here, I printed full size on 8.5 by 11. I suppose I could have actually, I could have just kept it this size. I don't know why I did that, but I did. And I took a piece of chipboard and I taped it to a piece of chipboard, took my Tim Holtz vintage photo, inked up the edges, and this is going to be a gorgeous book cover. So here's a journal that I'm working on, and just look at how beautiful and antique looking, not even vintage, antique looking, this is going to be for a cover. I love it. I have a couple of ideas. If you follow me, you know that I love, my favorite thing, even for scrapbooks and mini albums, is a fabric spine because I just think it's more durable, less likely to crack, and I love the look of it. So I might here, well, on the original book, this is leather here. It has a leather spine. So the first thing I thought was, well, I'll get some of my faux leather and put that on as the spine, and that would look okay, but I think that this is a little too modern looking and a little too busy for my taste for this book. The other option I could do is take a piece of canvas, or I even have some burlap. This particular burlap that I have right here has a little too much sparkle in it, but I just want to give you an idea of how gorgeous burlap looks for a spine. I used to have some that was dark brown, about the color of this leather. That's my favorite. I need to get some more. That would look good here. The other option is I have all of this 200-year-old fabric that is starting to go in my shop. I already have put some of the shirtings and indigo blues in my shop. These are very limited, but something like this, like an antique quilt, since this is our farmer's log, I think something like this, this is probably what I'm going to go with. Find a piece that's big enough. But yes, yep, that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to use a piece of this. Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a piece that's just a little bit bigger, or cut this down if I have to, and because I'm making more journals. But those are the options. The other thing, I didn't make one, but the other thing that I thought I'm going to do with this, besides collaging, is if you print this double-sided and you make a faux envelope, that would just look really, really fantastic, making envelopes out of the larger pages. So guys, I'm so happy to finally be able to share my find with you. I love this. This is one of the most favorite things I've ever done. I hope you enjoy it. I'll put the link below as to where to get the kit, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.